All right, this is work session for the planning board, March 24th, 8 a.m. We have one agenda item, Saya. Right? Is that the
Yep.
right one?
Took us a while to figure it out.
All right, so we've kind of gone through concept once already, giving you some feedback. I think we've got one small comment on site related issues. I'm just trying to get a final report from you guys on that one. We need to get that so Mark can review it.
We spoke with Mark and we sent Mark some drainage calculations and we worked out the parking.
So Mark is online, just
Yes, yeah, we spoke with Mark and we sent him an email and went over the drainage from going from gravel to pavement and things like that. He was on board with what we came up with. I will provide it at the next submittal, which is Thursday.
Yeah.
The package of what we did with some hydrologic calculations and things like that show there's no increase in runoff. We are gonna remove, there's a little bit of extra gravel kind of outside the paving limits. We're gonna remove that to kind of make up for the difference in going from gravel to pavement. So we'll show that on a plan, show that on the new site plan where we're gonna remove that. It increases the disturbance by, I think, a tenth of an acre or something like that. Something in the ballpark up to like 0.42 acres now. So still under the 1 acre threshold for SWIP or anything like that, but and it just cleans it up.
Okay. Sorry.
I turned it.
So Mark, you'll have everything you need Thursday.
Okay, well, I'll look forward to that then. Thank you.
So then the other that we have to work through is kind of consolidation of some of these lots here. So I think we talked previously about combining that little L shape with the current lot in there to make it clean. You're not passing over another one. Is that still the intent?
Yeah, the intent is that one non-conforming, I think it's.
Yeah, I mean, it just had, I mean, there's look like almost.
So we'll combine with one of the two lots, they're trying to decide right now which.
Yeah, they're gonna combine it. I spoke to them last week. Sorry.
Well, I mean, our conversation may help guide you in that direction.
Well, they were gonna combine it with the main building.
Right. So you'll combine it with the one that's outlined in blue right now.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, 147, 149 will get combined and basically go to the 147 property. The strip is at 149. It's got its own, it's got an address of 149.
Okay.
And so those two will get combined and go to 147.
Right. So that addresses that one, which also helps with some parking and all that other stuff.
Mhm.
There's the one lot across the property line there in the upper right corner.
Mhm.
That one has got trailers currently stored on it. That's not allowed use up there. So if that's the intent is to store trailers on that property, then it's our suggestion that you combine it with the building just to the south, which I believe you guys own as well. Because then it becomes an accessory use to that building and can continue to have the trailers there. If you don't want to subdivide it, then you can't have the trailers on that property.
So you're saying you're saying that these trailers aren't allowed on, correct?
Not as
The water park trailers.
Not as a primary use.
Not as a primary use, got the, back with this.
Correct.
or the other
Or
one.
this,
Or that.
Yes. Now, if it gets combined with the one to the south, then we might need to say that. That, so we'll have to talk about that. Do you wanna, can you let us know
to be fine
what
out,
you'd
if
like
I know what they
to
want to do.
re-subdivide? Yeah. Otherwise, you can move the trailers onto that lot we're looking at right now.
Yeah, but I think, I think what we've shown is more than they use. But I still think they need some trailers on the bottom. We just kind of like, okay, you got this paved area, let's give you a layout that makes sense. And it is more than they need right now. May never need all. I think they do some on that lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think cleaning up the property certainly helps. on that side, we're just identifying now that. With the storage on there, it's a primary use, can't be done, so we're trying to figure out how to. Help you guys out right now, instead of come back to you as soon as it starts, you can't have trailers from here.
Yeah, we kind of just assume that being it with the same owner for all of them. You know, with the easement, you know.
You would think, but it looks at the parcel itself and the primary use of that parcel. So. What other, we had,
Lighting. Looks like the lights can be full cutoff, but they're being.
We're gonna provide you a lighting plan. For their next middle, for the building.
Okay, are you keeping those lights?
The architect did the lights, so it'll be on the lighting plan that's provided.
I think what she's getting at is
Yeah.
the lights that are there currently, instead of being full cut off, are actually tilted up. So they're
Okay,
not
they
full
might
cutoff.
be replacing them, so I'm just.
Okay.
So I would, you know,
I think they're that way. So you don't have to have pools out the middle. Riot lanes, parking areas, that sort of thing.
So just when you do a photometric, make sure that that's accounted for. 'Cause if
Yeah.
if they're just showing a straight photometric with a cutoff, it's gonna show 0 at the lot line, but if you tilt it up, pushing all that stuff up.
Does the board have a bigger issue with them being tilted up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, our code, you have to be full cutoff. Dark sky.
Part of that gets into the concept of dark sky.
There's something in the code where it's, you can't have any light projecting above.
Figure that out. Like, so.
And the other issue was signs. It looks like there's several signs in the right of way.
yep, we showed them on the new site plan to be relocated inside the property, inside the right way. And
Can we
into the
look at-
property,
Can you pull up street view?
yeah, there's like,
We don't think any of them are permitted.
oh, they're not permanent. Okay,
Like they haven't been permitted by our office.
okay,
So you're trying to keep both of these? Are there two signs or?
yeah, we were just gonna relocate them, but if they're not permanent, then we'll have to. Find out exactly what they need and we'll do a sign permit and, you know.
Yeah, so if they want a monument sign, that's site plan, so I would recommend including that with your site plan now.
Get it all done in one,
Yeah,
one else.
all detached signs come through the planning board, not just permitting.
The kind of security ones, can those ever be viewed as like directional or are those just? Not really directional, right, but
Yeah.
what, so it wouldn't really be. It's not a business identification sign, it's not a directional sign. Do we address those somehow in the code, like security? I know we do for residential, but.
They're typically excluded, but. I mean, like, you know, directional, you know, stop signs, that sort of stuff. It would be kind of.
Where are you proposing to put it?
It's the one that we're looking at right now.
There's actually two. of
Well, I
them.
know, but
Oh,
they're right now, they're,
Right.
right away, they said they're gonna move on.
Yeah, we'll just move them to just inside the property line. So they're out of the right of way.
I think if it's right inside the, right outside the right of way line, it's monument sign. That's where you go.
Well, where's the property line in relation to the smokeless depot right there?
You'd have to go back to the plan, but it's right at that pole's, it's probably right at the back of that pole. Somewhere in there.
Yeah, so right at that. You go to the other side of the drive in that corner right there. You want it in the grass.
Mhm.
But yeah, the monument sign will have to get pulled back. But
Yeah.
just identify it off.
It's the meat code, that current monument sign doesn't matter. You look in the design guidelines, there's At the bottom, there's the monument sign section.
Understood.
It's a large facility.
What else we have?
The county's resolution. Says the municipality and applicant are advised to ensure proper review and approvals are in place for any parking or permanent structures within the substantial National Grid power line corridor easement.
I can address that. Okay, I know Jermaine have been retained to, help out in that specific issue. I did a study of the easements, prepared an attorney opinion, which I will submit to Jamie, showing both of the easements that affect the property, and at no point anywhere in those easements does it prevent paving or the parking on the thing. So we're okay there because the easements themselves do not prevent paving or parking or erecting a structure. And I will,
And what exactly did the county say?
We're advised to ensure proper review and approvals are in place for any parking or permanent structures within the easement.
Okay, Neil, I'll talk to you about that. Whenever we've had these, the National Grid has always taken the position that they need to approve the paving.
yeah, when you look at the easement, there is nothing that prevents pavement in those easements, and there's nothing that prevents the transverse easements. So you're giving National Grid a right that they don't have. A right to say, oh, yes, you can do it, or no, you can't do it, because the easement in itself says what National Grid's rights are. That would go beyond their rights to say, not only that, there's a right that you don't have, but we have to ask your permission to use our property the way we see fit. There's nothing in those easements that prevent us from paving. There's nothing in the easement that prevent us from, parking in the area. And you'll see that when you look at the easement and review the opinion. And so to go beyond that, you're giving National Grid a right that they do not have.
Are you saying that they don't have a right to review?
Yeah, they don't have a right to say no. They don't have so.
Are we talking about an easement that was created 30 years ago versus what they,
That's what we're talking about.
what they may require or want to require today?
So.
Those are two different issues.
So what we're saying is, when they created the easement, that gave National Grid certain rights. And those rights do not include the right to say you can't have pavement there. And those rights do not include the right to say you can't, park there, because they never got that right.
No, today they may demand it, but then they didn't.
They could demand it, and then the landowner could say yes or no.
No, understood.
Yeah,
But that easement then legally
Exactly.
was only what it was
right.
allowing. Today, they may
I'm
want
not-
those rights.
I'm not sure they do. I'm not sure any of them say that.
I don't know.
Yeah, so, okay.
But you'll provide that to Jamie and
Absolutely.
anything else on our end? Any questions on your end? I mean, I think we're just about there.
So yeah, if you are doing new lights, cut sheets with them. If you want to redo that monument sign details. And the security signs,
If you're not redoing the lights, we should see the photometric with the lights. At the angle, but I think our code says it's gotta be 0.
Yeah, we'll review what the architect gave us and see what they've done.
It doesn't mean that the lights can't be of a power that they project out into the parking lot to achieve your goal. They just can't be above.
Understood.
All right. Anything else? All right, so you'll have all this stuff to us Thursday so we can get you on.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, the lighting, the stuff that's in our control is pretty much done.
Okay,
The rest of it.
We're trying to just wait for this meeting so we can get it finally, the final changes.
perfect. Hopefully there's not many. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.